Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to today's lesson. This is our first unit in our My Perspectives book, Childhood. And the first story that we're going to be looking at is Wagon Train at Dusk. The purpose for this video lesson today is to explain your assignment and how you will be graded. You will need your My Perspective book, so please get it before we start. You can pause the video and restart it once you have your book. So the first thing I want you to do in your book is open it up and go to page 5. There's an actual 5 at the bottom of the page. This is the academic vocabulary nonfiction narrative page. And you're going to be completing the chart. So the page looks like this. And there's a chart at the bottom of this page. So let's take a look at this chart. So in the first column, you have the words. There's 5 words. The first word is reflect, and the root of that is flecked or bend. The next word is notable. The root is note, and that's mark. The next word is contribute, and the root is trib, and that's pay or give. The next word is recognize, and the root is COGN, and that's know. And the last word is memorize, and the root is mem or mind. So when we say root, that means the Greek or Latin root of that word. Much of our English language comes from Greek and Latin words. So we take those roots, which have a meaning, which is what's in the quotation marks, and we apply that to our word. Now the next column are mentor sentences. Each word has 2 sentences that come right from the story using that word. And you're going to use those mentor sentences to predict a meaning of that word in the first box, in the first blank box. So the word in this first row is reflect. You will read the 2 mentor sentences, and then based on the use of the word in those sentences, you're going to predict what the word reflect means. Then in the last box or the last column, you're going to write related words. Related to this base word that was given to you. So you need to use that word in an extended form. For example, in the first box here, you have 2 related words given to you for examples. The first one is reflection. So as you can see, reflect is part of the word. The other word that's given to you is reflective. Again, it has that base word reflect in it. So each of your related words should use this word in it. Now, once you finish that vocabulary page, you then are going to go read the story. So this is on pages 6 and 7 in your book. So go ahead and turn to those pages. And this is a nonfiction narrative. That means a type of writing in which an author tells a true story. So to break this down, the narrative piece is our story, and the nonfiction is our true. So this is where we get our true story. Now, the first time you read this, you're going to read the story or listen to it and follow along in your book. You're not going to do anything else other than listen to the story. So I've included directions at the bottom of the page under the picture on how to go into ClassLink and click on the Easy Bridge app to get to your textbook. And you can listen to the story there on page 4 of the online version of the textbook. And the story is there also that you can follow along with. But I've also included an audio recording of the story, which is included in the assignment posted in Google Classroom. Now, the second time you read or listen to this story, it's going to be your close read. This is what we talked about in our last lesson. So you're going to annotate the story in your book. This is where you're going to circle those bold words, maybe those 5 words that we talked about on page 5, or other words you might not know. You're going to underline and highlight things that stand out to you, phrases that might be, or words that might be repeated. And then you're going to write your notes in the margin. Again, this is on pages 6 and 7 in your My Perspectives book. So now let me break down this assignment and how you're actually going to be graded for all 3 of the parts. So the first one is that page 5 vocabulary page. You will also have a Google Doc for this assignment page where you're going to take your work from your book on page 5 and put it into the Google Doc. This is worth 10 points. Each one of those boxes is worth a point, and one of those boxes is already filled in for you. Next is your close read or annotating of the story. Now, we can't really see your annotating, so there is a Google Doc that you'll fill out where you're going to copy some of the things that you highlighted or circled or notes that you wrote in the margin, and you're going to write them on the Google Doc assignment. Now, this is worth 5 points. And then finally is the mastery check sheet. And this is another way for us to look at our close reading, and that is worth 5 points also. You're going to get 2 points for the 2 boxes at the top of the page, 1 for each box, and then 3 points for the quick write box at the bottom of the page. So after you finish the video, make sure that you complete page 5 in your book, and then annotate the Wagon Train at Dusk story in your book on pages 6 and 7. Then you're going to complete the assignment sheets and turn the assignment in through your Google Classroom.